Hello, fellow Movie Crusaders, and welcome to another episode. My name's Sean Waskerhoek. With me, as always, is Brian Michaels. And today is the fall movie preview, also our end of summer review, where we go over our very, very, very bad projected assessments of what we thought the top 10 box office was going to be at the end of the summer. But as well, we're going to be talking about the movies that are coming out for the rest of the year, which has gradually changed compared to what it was 4 months ago when we shot the summer movie, because the strike's still going on and we're basically almost back in COVID times where movies are just getting pushed back to when the fuck ever they're going to come out. But yeah, I would say before we jump into the summer part of it, what are your thoughts on the fall stuff because of everything happening with the strike and everything?
Yeah, it is like COVID the sequel, because everything's getting pushed back. So it's getting pretty sparse, though. I did a deep dive into all the streaming services and stuff to find like everything I could find that's coming out, and there's enough good stuff coming out that it's not a complete waste of time, but it's definitely pretty sparse in terms of major releases. I will say it's gotten so bad that I was just looking through like AMC showtimes for the next few weeks, and they're putting out I think September 8th. I think it's more than just AMC. Top Gun Maverick's coming back to IMAX. And Star Trek 09 is coming back to theaters. The next week they're putting Matrix, The Dark Knight, and Lego Movie back in theaters. They're just like, we need something in here. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, it's rough, because I mean, like, honestly, like I said, like I just dropped, which it's on the channel. I just dropped a trailer, or not a trailer, a video of me reviewing 5 movies that came out in the past like month or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, what else can I review? And I was like, there's not really anything out right now that I want to review. I mean, I could have watched I could have went and saw like Elemental, or I could have went and saw, like No Hard Feelings, or got them on digital because they're on digital now. And I was just like,
Yeah, I still haven't seen Blue Beetle or Gran Turismo. So.
Yeah, honestly, the one movie that's out right now that I kind of would like to watch is Cobweb, because that's one trailer this year just off the cast I want to see, but I just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, just the look of the fall so far, it was definitely more promising when we did anticipate it earlier this year. There was a lot of movies that we were excited about and anticipating, but
there
now
was Craven, there was Dune, there was all kinds of stuff.
Ghostbusters, even though Brian was adamant that it was going to come out, but it fucking was. And just a bunch of movies now, and it's honestly looking at the overcast of everything right now. Spring heading into summer is going to be fucking massive.
Like I said, I've already started doing my deep dive into finding releases for next year, and just of the stuff that's dated even, and some of the stuff that's not. Next year, probably thanks partially to this year's stuff getting pushed back, next year is stacked.
I mean, it's
assuming
that everything stays where it is right now.
They're gonna push back more, yeah.
Yeah, but like everything that got pushed back, that was supposed to come out, it's like February and March, and it's like, holy crap, there's gonna be so many movies. It's like summer is gonna have a hard time contending with what's coming out in the first half of the year. It definitely won't be what we thought going into April, which was the year of meh. It's definitely gonna be the year of holy shit, kind of thing. But before we dive into that, let's talk about the summer a little bit. There was a lot of big titles that were coming out. I think we were more excited for this summer than last year, just based off titles alone.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to say that movies sucked, but this year has really kind of been continuation of the year of meh. I think you and I really, really enjoyed April. And I think that was a lot of just because we finally got some movies that were actually like good to great. And then we were excited for summer, but honestly, looking at like what our top 10 predictions were, it was a weird year, because it was like the movies that we didn't care about blew the roof off. The movies that we did care about were meh to average at best. And then the movies that we expected to be freaking, blow off the roof amazing, which were great films, no one wanted to see, which makes no sense to me. This was a weird ass summer. Would you agree or disagree?
It is, and I think it's more and more. I think that the theaters and studios have like trained people to go to the theaters less. I think because things come to digital and stuff so fast, that more and more people are just like, I can wait 3 weeks and I can watch it at home. And they only go to the theaters for like, certain big events and things like that. And so what used to be big budget, but not like the huge ones like Endgame and things like that, people are just like, I'll wait. And I think that's just a trend we're going to see more and more as movies underperforming. And the ones that do break out are going to be surprises, like this year's number one.
So what would you say? I mean, because we already know the number one. What would you say this year, based off of I want to do something a little different. I didn't prepare you for this, so this is gonna be.
No, you didn't. I'm waiting to see where this is going.
Yeah. So what would you say in terms of the movies that came out? And I mean this in terms of box office, because that's how we did the prediction. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Like the good is, so when I say by good, I mean something that you really, really liked that actually did excel in the box office. The ugly of something that you really, really liked that just bombed. And then the bad of something that you really just didn't like that everyone just fucking loved. What would you say would be your kind of your three?
Okay, so one for each?
Yeah, one for each. If you got more, I'm not gonna lock you into.
No, I can probably pretty easily do this. So the one that I loved and succeeded would have to be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. That's a movie that we had high hopes for, and it met all of them, and it was great, and it made a ton of money, and it's in like the top 3, I think. As far as one that I liked that bombed, you know, I'm going to go with one that I didn't have box office expectations for, but Last Voyage of the Demeter. I really enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Made no money. It's. I mean, I think it made like $20 million, something like that.
And I also enjoyed that movie, and it is on my 5 movies that I just recently reviewed on the channel. I actually enjoyed it quite as much as well.
Yeah. Beyond that, I think most of the movies that I liked, at least, I mean, they definitely disappointed. They had low box office, but none of them bombed. As far as the big budget ones, I think I'd probably have to go with something like, I mean, even Indiana Jones, because even I know it's disappointing. I still enjoyed things about it, but it. Oh no! Wait, I'm going to change my answer. Mission Impossible, which made money, but it's like it should have made so much more. But it came out right before the double hit of Barbie and Oppenheimer. So there's that. And one that I hate or did not like that's doing well, I'm going to go with one I haven't even seen, and that's Sound of Freedom. The fact that movie has outperformed a lot of really good movies, driven mostly just by people who don't even care about the movie itself. It's just kind of that right-wing media kind of pushing it. And actually, there's a lot of people and articles and stuff calling into question their numbers because they had this whole system where people could like buy tickets to donate, and they like counted things that people didn't actually see the movie and stuff. So it just all rubs me the wrong way. It's like normally if it's a movie I don't like, I can just say like whatever, I don't like it. But when it's like makes this huge money for all the wrong reasons, no.
You know what was funny?
What's that?
Same 3 picks.
There you go.
Same 3 picks. The good Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That was a movie that, like I said, exceeded expectations. It's still my number 1 film of the year, hands down. I'm so happy that it did as well as it did. Honorable mention would have been Guardians, because I think Guardians still made really good money for what it was. The ugly for me clearly was Mission Impossible. I fully expected Top Gun Maverick's, height from last year to carry over with Mission Impossible, because Mission Impossible Fallout was still a huge success when it came out. I figured next Mission Impossible movie, because of Fallout plus the Top Gun Maverick carryover, I figured Mission Impossible was going to have a phenomenal summer, and it's a great fucking film. It's a great movie. But for some, and it still made good money. I'm not saying it bombed. When I say bombed, I mean bombed in terms of how the world is seeing it. I still think Mission Impossible made a lot of money, and I think it did really well. But everyone's chalking it up as a bomb, which irritates the hell out of me. But here I am calling it a bomb.
You know what? I also think part of what might have, I mean, this is probably a small thing, but I think what might have hurt it at least a little bit is the third movie this year that basically is kind of not a complete movie. It's like a to be continued kind of thing. There is Spider-Verse, there was Fast X, and there's this. And
it's not like it's the newest thing. I mean, they did that with Harry Potter.
Oh, I know, but to have 3 of them come out so close together, it's like, oh, okay, we gotta wait for Beyond the Spider-Verse. And, oh, now we gotta wait for Fast 11. Like, and they come to this one, and this is the only one that actually had it in the title. So this is only part 1. So it's like, I wonder if people
they did. Yeah, this is the only one that didn't puss out and take the part 1 off.
Yeah,
like because Spider-Verse did. And Fast X did. This one's like, no, we said it's part 1. It's part 1. I guarantee to you that's a Tom Cruise thing. I was like, no, we said this was a part 1. We're keeping it in. And this was the only one that actually had a definitive ending.
Yeah.
of the three. It didn't leave a cliffhanger. It's like, no, you can watch this as its own movie.
And
Kind of
the
thing.
good thing about it, like I said, and obviously we don't care about financial success as long as the movie's good and we like it. The only thing we care about is if that keeps like, further movies from being made. And the one good thing is no matter how this performed, the other one's already made, so it's coming.
Exactly. That's literally like, we don't care. Like, we talk about it, but like our big gripe is if the movie bombs and we liked it, that we might not get to see another one. And that's what hurts us the most about these. It's not like, oh my God, this made $1 billion. Cool. I'm glad movies are making money, even if they're movies for the wrong reasons. Hence Sound of Freedom, which I literally got into it with a coworker the other day who was like, did you go see Sound of Freedom? Fuck no, I didn't. Why not? I thought you review everything. Go, first off, no, I don't review everything because I still haven't seen like Minions or Despicable Me or any of that shit because I have fucking standards. I have no interest in seeing this damn film. And it's not even because the movie necessarily looks bad. I have nothing against Jim Caviezel. I love the TV show Person of Interest. I have nothing against him as an actor. I think Frequency is a criminally underrated, fantastic film that he did with Dennis Quaid a few years, or about a couple decades back. But this movie is just one of those films that's just like, what? And then you start seeing, like you said, the people who are trying to make this bigger than what it is, or trying to say like, oh, there's a huge conspiracy that AMC doesn't want us to see this film, and oh, the movie just magically stopped working. Shut the fuck up. Like, it's a fucking movie. If this was ever gonna happen, it would have happened when Passions of the Christ came out, everybody, not for Sound of fucking Freedom.
And I'll tell you, AMC doesn't care what your politics are as long as they're getting the money.
Your money. They don't care. Get off of it. God, oh God, it irritates the hell out of me. And Brian has heard this before. This is not anything Brian hasn't heard, but you guys haven't heard. So you're hearing it now. I know I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs, but this movie, I'm hating it for all the wrong and right reasons. This might be a movie that 5 years down the road, it'll be on TV and I'll have it. I'm like, you know what? The movie's not that bad, but it's because of everyone around it that this movie is unwatchable for me.
It's like when I feel hate towards like Christopher Nolan or Zack Snyder movies. It has nothing to do with the movies themselves. I'm just sick of the fans that are pushing them so hard.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And granted, these movies are not good, so I'm not. You're gonna go. You think you're gonna go? It's the same reason why I wouldn't watch the Twilights when they came out. I wouldn't watch the 50 Shades when they came out. Granted, those movies are not good, but it's the same thing. It's because the fans around it were just, oh my gosh, stop talking. Yeah. And this is even at a worse level because now it's conspiracy and right-wing bullshit and politics. It's like, I just want to fucking watch the movie. Want to watch the movie. And then they try to do that shit with Oppenheimer as well. It's like, no, you don't get to do that with Oppenheimer. You don't get to do that. Stop. Just be quiet. But obviously this year, on top of it just once again being a weird fucking year, is the year of I don't even want to call them the underdogs. It's the year of the surprises. Because if you were to tell me going into September that the top 2 films of the year, based off of the releases of what we had so far, was going to be Barbie and Super Mario Brothers, I would have bet my every money I had that you were wrong. And I would have lost everything.
Yeah, I mean, I was sure they would both be hits, but not to the extent they were.
Yeah, like I was so happy that Mario Brothers did well. Barbie, I'm not mad. I'm definitely not mad at it because I didn't mind the movie. I think it's overrated as shit, and I think people are blowing it way out of proportion. It's a fine film for what it is, but I definitely don't think it deserves getting all this money that it got. But nonetheless, hence because of that, looking at the top 10 box office of the end of summer, which is as of today, since this is effectively the end of summer. Brian, what is our top 10 for the summer box office? Domestically first, because you did domestic in our summer preview. You did it as top 10 domestic. I did it as top 10 international. So let's go ahead with yours first. Go ahead and give me the top 10 domestic of the summer.
Okay, so the actual box office rank of the summer. Number 1 was Barbie, obviously, with almost $600 million. Number 2, Spider-Verse. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Number 4, Oppenheimer. Number 5, The Little Mermaid. Number 6, Sound of Freedom. Number 7, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Number 8, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Number 9, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. And number 10, Elemental.
I'm looking at your box office. You were, for the most part, relatively close on a lot of them. You were like right around.
Well, all of my top
everyone who
10,
doesn't know, this is
all of my top 10
Brian's
made the top 10 except for Flash and Fast X. Those two were actually 11 and 12. The ones I came out of nowhere that knocked those out were Barbie and Sound of Freedom, obviously. The rest of them, I have the placements all over the place. I don't know if I have anything exactly right. I think I've none of them exactly right. Actually, number 9, Transformers, I had exactly right. Otherwise, they were all in the top 10, but in all the wrong places.
Yeah, and go ahead with the top 10 international, which I know I'm way the fuck off on. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let me sort these here. Okay, you're number 1, Barbie. Oh, number 1, Barbie. Number 2, Guardians. Number 3, Oppenheimer. Number 4, Fast X. Number 5, Spider-Verse. Number 6, Little Mermaid. 7, Mission Impossible. 8, Elemental. 9, Transformers. And 10, Indiana Jones.
Yeah, so for me, I had kind of like, mine's way off compared to yours. You definitely won in terms of closeness to your rankings. I obviously Barbie and Elemental I did not have in my top 10. I think I had them at 11 and 12.
At least you didn't get screwed by Sound of Freedom like I did, though.
No, I didn't. And then of course the two that I had in here that didn't make it, I had Flash and Blue Beetle. Because I thought Blue Beetle internationally would have done a lot better because
Flash is at 12, behind Meg 2, actually. Blue Beetle is still kind of to be determined at this point.
I was really hoping that I'd been wrong about Turtles, and Turtles would have cracked the top 10. But it's still in theaters though, so it could still potentially. But yeah, we whiffed pretty bad. Rough. We're usually more spot on than that.
I take solace only in knowing that pretty much nobody saw that coming. So.
No, I don't think anyone saw it coming. I mean, you and I. Now, last year we fucked up because we came out with our episode like the week before Top Gun Maverick came out.
Yeah.
And that was honestly, other than that, we were for the most part pretty close.
Wasn't it like literally like a day before like the first like reviews and words started coming out?
Literally, I think we aired it 2 days after.
Yeah.
And we had shot it like a week ahead, and so we were I remember I was getting ready to edit. You're like, we should really reshoot the episode so we could put Top Gun Maverick higher.
Put a little text disclaimer at the bottom.
I was like, nope. I was like, we're just gonna let it ride. It is what it is. Damned if we do, damned if we don't. And Barbie, I mean, we wouldn't have. There's no way in how we would have predicted Barbie.
I will say, in terms of the worldwide, Barbie is $1.34 billion. The second place one, only $845 million. So it's got the lead by like $550 million.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon, sadly. I say sadly. Like I said, I don't hate Barbie.
It's a decent movie. It's just not all that.
It's not the number one.
I'm glad that the people that are going and seeing it multiple times and loving it, I'm glad because there are, I mean, as much as I love these kind of movies, there are so many superhero movies and Star Wars movies, things like this that just are in the theaters, and that's all people get to see. And for them finally to get something like that, that's, a major movie that they can all go see and love and see multiple times, and good for them. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, good box office is good box office for everybody to a point, not counting Sound of Freedom. But yeah, if anything, it gets butts and seats, and that's immensely what we want for theaters and movies and of the like. Because we don't want, as much as we enjoy streaming, we don't want everything to be streaming. We still want that movie theater experience. There are those movies like Mission Impossible that really people should have just went out and seen a lot, better, or in theaters. Like that one just hurt my heart. That one hurt me so bad that Mission Impossible didn't make the money that I thought it was going to make. But Spider-Verse and Guardians, though, luckily did. I am still honestly shocked that Little Mermaid didn't make as much. I thought you and I both thought Little Mermaid was going to be like.
I had it number one.
We thought Little Mermaid was going to make Barbie money. We thought, maybe not Barbie money, but relatively close to Barbie money as we thought that was going to get. And we were way off on that one.
Yeah.
But that is the summer. We are now going into the fall, which starts now, basically, which we're basically going to go to week by week on this. Brian made me promise before we shot this to not look at the release dates for anything. So Brian's going to be driving this because apparently he saw a lot of movies that I don't know about, apparently. And
Well, like I said, they aren't necessarily all good. There's a lot of quantity, and I was just like, I was so pleasantly surprised. Like, oh, that's coming out. Oh, that person's in this. I thought I'll let you have that same surprise and enjoyment to it.
yeah, so I know of a good amount, but there are apparently some that I don't know that Brian's going to try to shock me with.
And there's several that I know the names of, but I knew information about. But Sean's actually watched trailers for now, so
Yes.
we'll see.
Yes.
All right.
So go ahead and start off, Brian.
So obviously this week, probably already out by the time you watch this. Actually, it is because it came out tonight. Is The Equalizer. It comes out today. Equalizer 1 and 2, I thought were decent. I'll see this one too. No really high hopes for it. It's kind of whatever.
Yeah, it's not something that I necessarily need to rush to theaters to go see. And I mean, I love Denzel Washington. But I mean, these movies are not I have to go see these right now kind of film. These movies could get released on Netflix, and I'd be like, all right, cool, I'll watch it this weekend at some point. Not something where I need to go rush into a theater and see it instantly. But the first two are solid films. I enjoy them for what they are. I don't think this movie needed a third film at all. But hey, Denzel's kind of entering that Liam Neeson like age thing where it's an easy paycheck that he can make, and he doesn't have to do a whole lot. So
yeah, but at least he's not to the point like Liam Neeson where they're like, okay, we know he can't even run anymore, so let's have him sit in a car for the whole movie.
And if we're putting Equalizer up against Liam Neeson's movies, Equalizer's beating the living shit out of all of Liam Neeson's films. So yeah. At least Denzel's doing it. He's at least making solid films all the way throughout. Where Liam Neeson's is like, here's a different shade of color of the same film, and here's another shade of color. So
the only other one I have for this week is a movie called All Fun and Games, which is a horror movie. It's very limited. It probably will be on digital either the same time tomorrow or probably very soon. It's a horror movie starring Asa Butterfield and Natalie Dyer.
I did see a trailer for this.
And how'd that look?
It was intriguing. But it once again, and that's the problem with a lot of these movies is like you watch it and you see names, obviously Butterfield from Ender's Game and Netflix's Sex Education, and then of course Natalie from Stranger Things, and I'm just like, oh, yes. And then you watch it like, this is easily a straight to digital film. This is definitely not something that would be released in theaters or something that I would ever get in my theaters here in my small town. But it's one of those that I kind of would have to, much like, and I was talking to you about this before the show started, like Sympathy of the Devil with, is it Joel Kinnaman?
Yes.
Joel Kinnaman and Nicolas Cage, where it's like, this is clearly straight to digital, and I like the trailer for what it is, but if I don't write this movie down, I'm going to forget about it in 2 weeks. And then I won't remember it ever again. And All Fun and Games has promise to be a sleeper horror like cult film. And it's one of those that I had to write down because I'm like, I know I'm not going to get this in theaters. And it's going to be one of those things like in 3 weeks, I'll forget. And you know what? That's exactly what happened because I saw this trailer 3 weeks ago, forgot about it. You just brought it up. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I did see this trailer.
I literally have a Letterboxd list of like upcoming movies I want to see, but no, I don't put any major stuff on there. It's just the stuff like that I might forget about if I don't write it down.
Yeah.
So I have to check it occasionally and see if they're out. Okay, that's all for this week. Next week we have My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
I have never seen any of them. I don't intend to.
I may have seen the first one. I don't remember. Yeah, don't really care. And The Nun 2.
Didn't see the first one. Didn't care.
Yep, same. Okay, moving on to next week. On Friday the 15th, we have Cassandra. You were excited about that one.
Yes, Cassandra is a movie that I'm actually really excited for. I actually finally got to watch the trailer for it yesterday. Gael Garcia Bernal, I think he's a phenomenal actor. If anyone who ever saw Prime's Mozart in the Jungle, he's astounding in that show. It's 3 seasons. It really takes no time to get through it. But it really shows his acting chops, and he's a great actor in everything I've seen him in. So seeing him, this basically he's a luchador. For anyone who doesn't know, that's a masked wrestler from Mexico. He's small because he is a small actor, and he's tired of just being. He wants to be a popular, big, famous wrestler like all of us wrestlers do when we were in wrestling. And he decides to basically become. I'm blanking on what the term is. It's basically like for the Mexican term, it's basically being like the exotico. That's what it's called. He's an exotico, which is kind of like the flamboyantly, almost kind of gay kind of character. Many people for American wrestling, Gold Dust, like that. And he basically becomes this new character, and Cassandro, and he rises to fame, and it looks fantastic. And this is one of those movies that I feel, if it gets the right legs behind it and gets the right reviews behind it, this could be a sleeper award hit by the end of the year. So this is definitely one of the more anticipated films that I'm actually enjoying for this year.
Is that a theatrical?
What's that?
Is that a theatrical film?
It is on the 15th. It is theatrical. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know about wide release or if it's more of an indie being released in LA and New York. So
I think it's not like an Apple or Netflix movie or something.
Potentially. But right now on this release thing that I've got, it just says in theaters. But it is a Prime. It is Amazon Prime's Video has revealed the first official trailer. So it's going to be in.
So probably they usually wait about a month and then they put it on. So
so it'll be a lot like Air, where it'll go to theaters first and then it'll drop on Prime. So for people who don't get it in their Air, which I may or may not, which will bum me out because I really want to see that, I will probably have to wait for it to pop on Prime.
Okay. Next, I have A Haunting in Venice, which is of course the third in the Kenneth Branagh, Hercule Poirot movies.
This movie, I didn't love Murder Express. I thought
I still haven't seen Death on the Nile.
Death on the Nile was boring. This one, it's one of those things like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I like the cast in this. I do.
I like the cast in all three of them, but I'm just like,
damn it, you've tricked me twice now, and I don't know because it's like.
I think Agatha Christie's just not for me. That's what I've decided.
I know there's no real ghost. It's not, because it's one of those things where it's like he's gonna come up. He's like, "Oh, it's all trick and mirrors and all this kind of shit."
We gotta wait for you meddling kids.
Yes, exactly. It's gonna be a fucking Scooby Doo ending, Raggy, and I just can't get myself behind it. Even though the cast is great, I saw the first two and they were just meh. And unless these come out with like raving reviews, because even the first two review-wise, they're just like, eh. So if this comes out with a eh, then I'm not going to waste my time. But if it actually comes out and people are going, this is actually really, really good, then I'll give it a shot. But
same here.
This this whole franchise frustrates the hell out of me.
Yeah. Coming out in probably very limited and or digital release is a movie called Outlaw Johnny Black.
I saw the trailer for this.
That is basically so Michael Jai White, who did Black Dynamite, and the rest of the team behind Black Dynamite are making. It's not a sequel. It's kind of a in the spirit of kind of thing. It's instead of taking on the old martial arts movies, kind of taking on the old blaxploitation westerns. It's going to have that same kind of comedic and action kind of approach to it. I'm interested to check it out. I don't expect to be anything great, but I like Black Dynamite, so I'll check this out.
I feel like this reminds me of a movie that came out last year, that I was super excited for, and you were like, it'll probably just be okay. And I'm blanking on the movie. It's a Western. I think it had Natalie Portman in it. I can't remember what it is now. It might not have been Natalie Portman. Might not have been. It was a Western that came out last year, and I remember I was super, super excited for it. And you were like, Sean, it's probably just going to be okay. And
was it that Dead for $1 movie?
Yes, it was Dead for $1. I was like, there's something about $1.
Oh, that thing just looked low budget from the trailers. Yeah,
I was so excited for that movie, and I watched it. I was just kind of like, eh. And I got that from Outlaw Johnny Black. It was kind of like that with a little bit of not Hateful Eight. Wow, my brain is not working. Our number one, the harder they fall. The harder they fall. It's like a little bit of Harder They Fall with a little bit of that. But Michael Jai, like halfway through the trailer, I was like, is that Michael Jai White?
Yeah.
And by the end, I was like, holy shit, it is. I'm intrigued by it. I probably won't get it in my theater, so it's gonna be one of those I have to write it down and wait for it to pop on digital to watch.
I kind of feel like it's gonna be one of those that's really just coming out on digital and with a tiny theatrical release in like New York, LA kind of thing.
Probably. The only other two things I see for this, you also got Camp Hideout, which is kind of like a kids camp movie, kind of like Camp Nowhere from the 90s, because Christopher Lloyd's in this as well. But I watched the trailer, didn't look good. And then there's Dumb Money, which that actually did look really, really good. That is about I want to say it's the GameStop stock.
Yeah, I have.
Thing.
Yeah, I have Dumb Money as October 6th.
This is probably the limited, and then October is probably the wide.
Yeah, probably.
But I did watch the trailer for that, and that one actually looks really intriguing. So kind of like almost like a I don't want to say The Social Network, but if it had a very much of a Social Network vibe to it, and with the cast in it, it actually looks really solid. And that's one of those that I'm like, I'm gonna have to make sure to keep an eye on. Also, I believe you got some streaming movies. You got oh yeah, this is another trailer I saw yesterday. On Prime Video, A Million Miles Away, with Michael Pena. Actually looks intriguing. Looks
he wants to become an astronaut? Is that what it was?
Yeah, he wants to become an astronaut. And it looked good. It looked good. It might be one of those where it's like it looked good on trailers, but then is it really going to keep my attention for the whole film? I don't know. But I like Michael Pena. We both like Michael Pena. And he's the lead. It's a dramatic film about him wanting to become an astronaut. And you know what? I'm intrigued enough to check it out. And then of course Netflix. You also have Love at First Sight.
Love at First Sight is the one I had down. Yeah.
I
haven't watched the trailer for it, but it looks like it's a romance or rom-com with Haley Louis Richardson and Ben Hardy.
Rom-com stuff. That's all I've got for the 15th.
That's all I have for that. Just so you know, I did find Dumb Money is it's gonna be really limited on the 15th and expanding week to week till its wide release is October 6th.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for the next week, September 22nd, Expendables 4 or Expend 4 Bowls or whatever, because they're doing that Fantastic Four thing.
Say Expendables 4.
Expend 4 Bowls. I don't think any of them are very good.
I never saw the third one.
I like the third. I think I like the third one best, honestly, but only because Wesley Snipes in there having fun and Antonio Banderas in there having fun, but they're both like small parts in there. I think that's one. Is that the one Mel Gibson's in too? I think it's like they got some of my favorite people in that one. Harrison Ford's in it, but he's pointless. But it also has like Ronda Rousey and things like that. So I'm like,
yeah.
But
Megan Fox is in this one, and she was the most intriguing part of this trailer for me.
Well, that's just it. Is the third one was also PG-13, and people lost their shit. They're like, this can't be PG-13. These Expendables has to be bloody and gory and stuff. So the whole trailer for this movie is just, we heard you, and here it's R-rated, and the whole trailer is just gore and stuff like that. It's like, okay, at least they're gonna give people what they want, and I think it might be just it because of that. I think it might be fun. It's not gonna be good, but
I feel like this one, at least from the trailer, feels like they're more in on the joke this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Not that they weren't in the movies, but they were more like action seriousness in the first ones. And this one, I feel like they're like, hey, we can be like Fast and Furious and just know this is action, but we can have fun with it, kind of thing. And I think that's what they're doing. So I didn't hate the trailer for this.
I also feel like Sylvester Stallone is not going to be in a lot of this one because they even have Jason Statham even has billion above him. So I think that Sly's probably.
I think it's more of a handoff kind of thing, which I'm okay with. Now, weird thing on my side here, it actually says Cassandro is Prime Video this week, so it looks like it might only get 1 week.
It might just do a week, yeah.
And then it'll be on Prime Video the very next week.
I think it's not the kind of movie they expect to make a ton of money. So
yeah.
That's all I have theatrical.
The only thing I see is, and it's not anything you and I will give a shit about. Netflix Spy Kids Armageddon.
Spy Kids Armageddon, yeah. Which
I never saw a single Spy Kids movie, and I don't plan to start now.
You know what? My kids enjoyed them, and I'll give them that. I mean, but they're clearly kind of low budget affairs. This one is still directed by Robert Rodriguez. Zachary Levi is in it. DJ Catrona is in it. Billy Magnuson is in it. Yeah.
I don't hate the cast. I've never hated the cast for any of the movies. I just never really cared to watch them. But
yeah, Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin is in it.
Real quick sidebar, because I'm just noticing the camp. I know the shirt just says men. It's not just men. I know it looks weird. It's a Men in Black. It's for the Nebraska Cornhuskers because of the black shirt defense. So everyone's like, why does Sean just have a shirt that says men on it?
Sean has made some interesting lifestyle decisions in the past week.
It's Men in Black. The whole time I keep looking, like, people are gonna be wondering why does Sean just have a shirt that says men on it. But anyway,
I do have one more for that week, and it's actually one of the ones that I was very surprised to find. It's one called No One Will Save You. This is a sci-fi movie starring
I do not have that on my list.
Starring Caitlin Dever, from the director of a movie came out during COVID 2020, Spontaneous, which I actually kind of very much enjoyed. I don't know a whole lot about this one. There isn't a whole lot about it. This one is coming on to Hulu on September 22nd. We love Caitlin Dever. I've never gotten to see her do something. She's usually done like these comedies or these indie drama kind of things. So to see her do a sci-fi movie. I'll say. I mean, it definitely feels like it's gonna be more of an indie sci-fi.
I
Not like a big
do
budget
have a
thing.
synopsis. I just searched it real quick and a synopsis popped up. An exiled. Oh my god, my whole thing just popped off. An exiled, anxiety-ridden homebody must battle an alien who's found its way into her home. That's what it's. Honestly, that right there, that sells me on it.
Yeah, all I know is Caitlin Dever sci-fi. It's at least worth a watch.
Yeah, I don't really see anyone else in the cast that's really of note, but you know what? This feels like a movie where it's like her in the house by herself dealing with an alien kind of thing, much like one of my favorite horror films that's popped up on Netflix, Hush, where it's like, yeah, you got some actors in it, but it's really just is it Kate Siegel or Siegel? Siegel. It's her against the bad guy killer guy. So I'm okay. Yeah, I remember you mentioning this at one point, and I was like, I know he's gonna bring it up, so I don't have to worry about it. But yeah, that one absolutely on Hulu. Check that out instantly.
And I will say, I would recommend checking out also the other movie this director did called Spontaneous. It's Charlie Plummer, Catherine Langford, there's a couple other people in it, but it's just it's a really fun movie. Check it out. All right, going on to the next week. Theatrically, I have Saw X or Saw 10 or whatever you want to call it.
It's the same either way.
Saw. We have The Creator from the director of Rogue One, who this one is originally called it was called True Love was the original title of that, so I don't understand that. The trailers have very much intrigue. It definitely has that Rogue One look to it. Is it Gareth Evans, right?
Yeah, it is Gareth Evans.
I think my Gareth's mixed up. But it stars John David Washington. It looks like it's another one of those where it's like, this guy in the sci-fi world protecting the little kid, who it turns out this one's like a robot or something like that. It's one of those trailers that's more atmospheric, more than telling you a lot about the plot. But I like the look of it. I like Rogue One a lot. I'll check it out.
Yeah, I haven't loved the trailer that I've seen of it so far. I think I've seen 2 trailers. But it's definitely something that I'm still going to check out. This isn't anything that I'm going to ignore because I actually like John David Washington. Most people do. And Gareth Edwards. I actually enjoy as a director as well. It's just the movie's not grabbing me much right now. Maybe something will happen between now and the end of the month that will make me go, okay, I need to see this. But right now, this feels like something that I can easily wait for digital on. Mm-hmm. But unless it's like one of those where I just really want to go see a movie this weekend, I'll go see this. Saw X. Honestly, I don't even remember the last Saw movie I saw. Torture porn movies don't do much for me. I always told anyone who actually liked the Saw movies, I cared more about the story of Jigsaw as him just being a person than I did the actual torture scenes. I'm still waiting for someone to do a supercut of just the story of him. From when it started to where he went,
so convoluted it is.
Which the trailer of Saw X makes it actually seem that this is kind of when he first started, which I thought we already did that in the Saw franchise already. So it feels like
the Saw movies is I think I enjoy the Saw movies most when it just is embracing the torture porn or just enjoy the craziness of it. It's like when it just knows it's going to be a schlocky horror movie. When it tries to get too serious and too deep and have these lessons he's trying to teach people, I'm like, just stop trying.
This one's all about revenge. Yeah. Because
I like revenge thrillers, so maybe it'll be.
Did you see the trailer for it already?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so this is clearly a revenge one, so maybe I'd be more inclined for this one than anything else. So, and this is also, people are already calling this the new Barbieheimer. They're trying to connect Saw X with Paw Patrol, the movie. And it's like, shut up. Just because Barbieheimer worked, which I still can't stand that.
Contra programming is not a new concept, people.
Exactly.
Mamma Mia came out the same day as The Dark Knight. Just saying.
Yeah, but Dark Knight kind of got derailed on its opening night because of other things. But the only other thing I really see in here that you haven't mentioned yet I
got a few, but go ahead.
There's a few. But the one that I want to talk about, because I saw the trailer for it yesterday, is a movie called Reptile.
Oh.
And that might be a limited release, but it's a Netflix movie. So this is getting theatrical release now, and then it comes out October 6th on Netflix.
Yeah, it's Netflix does that sometimes. They do like a 1-week release in limited theaters and then put it. Yeah,
and this has got Benicio del Toro, who we like, Justin Timberlake, who we both acknowledge is actually a really good actor when he actually tries, and Alicia Silverstone, of all people.
Excess Baggage Reunion. Just
Yes,
saying.
this movie looks good. It's like a Gone Girl-esque kind of movie, but I saw the trailer for it yesterday, and I was just captivated by it because Timberlake is playing a role that he's playing more like a subdued role because like it's like kind of almost like Ben Affleck in Gone Girl to a point, but more subdued than that. And Del Toro is the cop trying to solve the murder or mystery. We don't really know what's happening yet because they're even keeping the trailer kind of vague. But the trailer I got to see, it worked for me. This could be one of those movies that when you watch it, it's actually incredibly dull and boring, or it could be captivating and just fucking amazing. It's going to toe that line. Which way it goes, we'll find out. But this is one of those movies that immediately when I saw it, I wrote it down as must watch. And that is one of them that I'm actually excited to see. Now, you did say you had some other movies as well.
I do. One of them you're very excited to see as well. Also coming out that day is a movie called She Came to Me.
Yes.
This is a movie starring Peter Dinklage as a composer who's trying to finish an opera. His wife is played by Anne Hathaway. And basically, he gets involved with, he has a fling or something with this woman played by Marissa Tomei, who turns out to be kind of a psycho stalker, it seems like. I know you just commented, you watched the trailer and really enjoyed it.
See, I have this for next week on my release thing. So obviously our things are not the same, but hey, if it comes out a week early,
especially now, these schedules are totally in flux. People
if
don't.
it comes out a week early, I'm excited for it. Yeah, I watched like 30 trailers yesterday. Yeah. So this is how I got it. I watched this trailer yesterday. This movie looks great. I'm so excited for this because it's Marissa Tomei playing a role that I've never seen her play. Anne Hathaway, it looks like she's going to have fun with this to a point. I don't want to say too much trailer-wise, but Peter Dinklage, we love. And I am excited to see what he does with this because it's one of those things where he's stuck because like the main part of this is he's trying to write an opera, but he's mentally stuck on his next one. And then he meets these people, mainly Marissa Tomei, and it leads it to his next thing, and then chaos ensues. It looks like it's a dark comedy, but with this cast, I can't be more excited for this movie. This is actually one of my more anticipated films of the year. Now that we're near the end of the year, and most of my anticipated films have already come out or got postponed. This is definitely one that I can't wait to watch.
Okay, there's also a movie called, this is straight to video stuff, probably. There's a movie called 57 Seconds with Morgan Freeman and Josh Hutcherson. Looks like some kind of action straight to video thriller. Don't worry about that one too much. There's a movie called The Kill Room, which stars Uma Thurman and Maya Hawke and Samuel L. Jackson.
I watched, and
I have not watched this trailer. Is it
Joe Manganiello? I think he's in it as well. I watched the trailer for it. Didn't really do much for me.
No? Okay.
Didn't really do anything.
Well, let's move on past that one then. And then there's a movie on Apple TV called Flora and Son. This is a movie. There's a woman and her son. She's trying to get him to learn guitar and stuff like that to kind of come out of his shell. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays this musician who's basically giving guitar lessons over the internet in this kind of relationship. It's a mother and son thing. This is an Apple TV movie. I believe it comes out. I think this is the week it hits Apple TV, so probably hits theaters actually a week before.
It does. It was on the previous week. I didn't say anything because I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, it's one of those things like I'll probably check it out eventually.
You know what's the one name besides Joseph Gordon-Levitt that I see on this cast list that makes me go, I'll check it out? Jack Rayner, who I love.
Oh yes, Jack Rayner. Yeah,
Jack Rayner's in this.
If I'm not mistaken, this is from the director of Sing Street and something else. With Jack Rayner's been in all his movies. So yeah.
Which that right there, you just sold me on because I thought Sing Street was one of the best movies that came out that year. Jack Rayner was fantastic in it, and if that is correct, and he is the director for Sing Street, and Jack Rayner's in this, I will definitely be watching this then in April, or not in April, on Apple when it comes out.
Okay, moving
on. That is everything. Now we're going into October.
Mm-hmm. October, of course, they said we had Dumb Money Going Wide. There's The Marsh King's Daughter, which you just watched the trailer for.
I watched the trailer for. It's very much feels like what's that movie that came out last year?
Where the Crawdads Sing?
What's that? Yes, Where the Crawdads Sing. I had Marsh in my head, and I think
that's what it looked like to me. Yeah.
Very much kind of like that. It's basically you have oh my god, my brain is not working. Actress Ray.
Oh, Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley. I had Emma, and I was like, that's not right. It's got Daisy Ridley and Ben Mendelsohn. Basically, he in the past kidnapped her mom and then had her, and so she thought that was like his father. When it's a whole like big conspiracy thing, but now it's like, she's a mother now, and he's broken out of jail, and he's trying to find her, kind of thing. That's basically the main premise of the film. It's also got oh God, what's his name from Tron Legacy? Garrett Hedlund. Garrett Hedlund's also in this, which I don't mind Garrett Hedlund. I think he's a solid actor. He just doesn't usually make the best choices for movies. But the trailer, for what it is, once again, it falls kind of like with Reptile. This could be very boring and dull, or it could be very exciting drama thriller. I really want to see Daisy Ridley in something that's good outside of Star Wars. Because every time I see her, I get excited. I'm like, yes, she's doing something. And then it's like Chaos Walking or Murder on the Orient Express, where it's just like...
Or like she's got one coming out. I want to say it's this fall. I didn't write it down. It might be next year. It was where she plays the woman who swam the English Channel. I'm like,
Yeah, I want Daisy Ridley to do something. And Ben Mendelsohn, I mean, he just got done doing Secret Invasion. But I mean, I love Ben Mendelsohn and anything he does. So just having those two is going to be worth enough for me to check it out. I'm heating expectations on it, but I do really want to see this movie.
Okay. Also coming out that day, these are probably some more limited releases. I have a movie called Cat Person, which stars Amelia Jones, who most people know from Coda, Nicholas Braun, and Geraldine Viswanathan. I think I pronounced that right. I don't know. Seems to be kind of a rom-com kind of thing. There's a movie called Foe, which stars Saoirse Ronan and Paul Mescal. This one I thought was just gonna be like some period drama, but actually it's a sci-fi thing. It takes place in the near future when people are the planet's going to hell and people are living, off planet in this station, and this guy shows up with this offer to let her live there, but not him, and it causes all kind of drama.
I've heard of this movie. I have not watched anything about it because I don't really care for Saoirse Ronan and Peter. Is it Peter Mescal or Paul Mescal?
Paul Mescal.
He just popped up out of nowhere during the Oscar season. I was like, I don't know who the hell this guy is.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like the next It guy. He stars in the new Gladiator movie coming out next year.
Apparently,
like
but it's like I saw stuff for this. I was like, I don't care. There is one movie though that you haven't mentioned yet, which I know you're probably going to, that I actually do really want to see because I watched the trailer for it last week, and that is...
I don't know which one you're referring to.
Freelance.
Oh, was that day? I didn't know.
Yeah, Freelance comes out October 6th. It's John Cena, Alison Brie. It's going to be on Netflix. We love Alison Brie to like the utmost standard here on this channel. And John Cena has finally, much like The Rock, he's finally kind of found his niche as an actor. He found out what works and how to really utilize it to make him the best he can possibly be. And this is right there. It's a action comedy.
We both thought it reminded us of The Lost City, except hopefully good.
Hopefully better, because Lost City was a great disappointment. But like I said, it looks funny for what it is. But it also could be another Lost City or Shotgun Wedding situation where we are excited for it and then we watch it and we're like, oh wow, that sucked. But we're hoping for Alison Brie and John Cena's sake, it is actually a fun film. We're not expecting this to be top tier film by any mean, but just enjoyable is what we would like out of it. I don't.
Also that day, I have Pet Sematary Bloodlines, which is kind of a, I think it's Netflix. I think, no, it's Paramount Plus is making a sequel or whatever, Pet Sematary. Reptile, of course, hits Netflix on this date, and then it's a movie. One of my ones I'm looking more forward to is called Totally Killer. This is a movie from Nahnatchka Khan, who is the director of Always Be My Maybe. I'll just read you the quick synopsis here, except that it just disappeared. There it goes. 35 years after the shocking murder of 3 teens, the infamous Sweet 16 killer returns to claim a 4th victim. Despite the warnings of her overprotective mom, Jamie comes face to face with a masked maniac and accidentally time travels back to 1987. Forced to navigate the unfamiliar and outrageous culture of the 80s, Jamie teams up with her teen mom to take down the killer once and for all before she's stuck in the past forever. This sounds almost like a Christopher Landon kind of movie to me.
It does. It sounds like Christopher Landon, and then that movie you made me watch a couple weeks back or a couple months back. What? Detention? Yeah. It sounds like Detention and a Christopher Landon film.
That's why this is right up my alley.
Is there a cast to this that we know?
Kiernan Shipka is in it. Julie Bowen's in it. Randall Park is in it. Lachlan Monroe is in it. Otherwise, there's a bunch of names which maybe people more with their finger on the pulse of current.
Is there a trailer for this yet?
Olivia Holt is in it. Why do I feel like I know that name? There's not a trailer yet for it, but just that synopsis.
I have not seen anything about.
But that synopsis has me interested. It sounds fun because it definitely has a Christopher Landis feel to it.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for October 6th. Moving on to October, Friday the 13th. We have, well, you know what we have? Announced today, Taylor Swift, the Eras Tour. It's selling out theaters all across the country. It's going to be playing for weeks. We'll move on from that.
We're not talking about that.
There's the new Exorcist, which I don't care about.
You know what? I don't care about the Exorcist films, but I didn't hate the trailer that I get.
I'll probably see it. It can't be worse than the first Exorcist, which I think may be one of the most overrated movies of all time.
And I agree with you, which is why we are friends.
There's a movie called What Happens Later, which I have not watched. I know what it is, but I have not watched the trailer. You have. Tell me about that one.
I watched it yesterday. It looks like a run-of-the-mill old rom-com, but because of the cast alone, or at least the two leads in it, there's a unique approach to the film that I'm not going to say, but it is all over the trailer. It did enough to make me go, I'm going to check this out. I'm definitely going to check this out because it's got a unique approach to it. It's got definitely a unique approach. Plus, it's got Meg Ryan. We haven't seen Meg Ryan in. She's directing this, by the way.
She's directing too,
yeah, she's directing and starring in it with David Duchovny.
It's intriguing. I'm not going to lie though. Meg Ryan's hard for me to watch with that plastic surgery. And maybe call me shallow, but it's like I would have rather just seen you with the aged face than with her, whatever she's done. I'm sorry.
It's intriguing enough for me to check out. Let's see. I'm trying to see.
I have Ordinary Angels, which does not really. It's about a hairdresser who single-handedly rallies an entire community to help a widowed father save the life of his critically ill young daughter. Doesn't sound like much to me. Plus, it stars Hilary Swank, but it's got Alan Richardson in it. That's almost enough to get me to watch it. That's all I'll say about that one. And then I have a movie.
I did see a trailer for this, and I've actually heard fantastic word of mouth from this.
Okay.
Netflix, Fair Play.
Yes, that was the one.
I watched the trailer for it. The trailer didn't really hook me, but it left me intrigued enough to want to check this out because I've heard some amazing word of mouth from this from people who are actually hold in high regard in their movie taste. I guess this was at some festivals, and they were saying that Alden Ehrenreich is amazing in this, and this is actually a movie that people need to pay attention to, especially come award season. So I definitely going to check this movie out. But yeah, watch
Alden Ehrenreich. I want him to have a good career. I really like him.
Yeah, I wish people would stop hating on him for Solo because he wasn't. What was wrong with that?
He was fine in Solo. Yeah,
he was fine in it. There was nothing wrong with his performance in that film.
I don't have anything else for the 13th.
That'll be on Netflix on the 13th.
That's all I have for the 13th. You?
Yeah, I don't really see. Okay, now they're doing some Wednesday, Thursday releases for me. Yeah. Okay, so going to the 20th. Of course, we've got the one movie that everyone is talking up as the big thing of the year, and that's Killers of the Flower Moon.
Which I probably won't see. I'm going to be honest with you.
I mean, I'll see it for award stuff. This is Scorsese, right?
It's Scorsese.
Yeah, Scorsese and DiCaprio, which I like most of their stuff together. So that alone, plus Jesse Plemons also in this, who I love. That alone is worth checking out. None of the trailers that I've seen of this has really made me want to watch it, but I respect the cast and the director enough to check it out. But it feels like and I know it's not the same thing, it feels very much like an Irishman situation.
Can I tell you one other thing about it?
Huh?
206 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. The Irishman situation is it feels like it's going to be overly long. It's going to drag like a motherfucker. And I feel like how long is it going to be before my brain goes, I don't care about this anymore. With the Irishman, it was 40 minutes in. I was like, I just don't give a shit.
I've only ever seen the first 40 minutes of Irishman.
I watched it all the way through in one sitting, and trust me, that was a fucking chore. But I also like Leo a lot better than anyone in The Irishman. So part of me, the other part is too, is that at least from what I heard prior to everything was that Leo's not even the main character in this movie, but all the marketing and trailers are making it seem like Leo's the main character. I hear Jesse Plemons is actually a bigger character in the movie than Leo is, but Jesse Plemons is like barely in any trailers for this, and it seems to be all about Leo and his wife in the movie. I'm blanking on the actress name. It's like one of her first roles. Something Gladstone. I can't see from the picture; it's too small. But from what I've heard, is Leo's not the main character in this film. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. But people are obviously awards, blah blah blah. Anytime Scorsese and Leo are together, that's what they're gonna say. But yeah,
one Netflix movie, that being the directorial debut of Bill Burr, called Old Dads. Three best friends become fathers later in life and find themselves battling preschool principals, millennial CEOs, and anything created after 1987. 1987 is a pivotal year, apparently, in this fall's movies. I like Bill Burr. He's funny. I don't know if I'd take him as the lead, the main character of a movie. We'll find out. You know what I'm really hoping? I don't know about this. I hope this is an R-rated comedy. I don't want to see Bill Burr doing some family-friendly comedy. But I haven't seen anything more beyond this synopsis, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. So
got him, Bobby Cannavale, Bokeem Woodbine, Rachel Harris, Katrina Bowden, C. Thomas Howell. It's got a bunch of people in it, but it's a Netflix movie. Moving on to the 27th. I only have one theatrical movie, and that will also be on Peacock, I believe.
Yeah,
Five Nights at Freddy's.
I'm intrigued to see the hell out of this because it's got to be better than Willy's Wonderland. Five Nights at Freddy's is a video game franchise. It's a very popular video game franchise. Plus, I like Josh Hutcherson. I do. And I
like him a lot. If you people have not watched Future Man on Hulu, great series. Watch that.
He's good at that. Plus, Matthew Lillard's in it. So I like Matthew Lillard. I mean, say what you want about him. I enjoy Matthew Lillard. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a watching this opening night for me. I'm actually generally excited to watch Five Nights at Freddy's. The only other things I see for this, you got The Holdovers, which is going to definitely be an indie film with Paul Giamatti. I saw the trailer for it. I mean, it's not something. It's an Alexander Payne film. It's not something that's like really right up my alley, but if it gets award recognition at the end of the year, it's something probably I'll check out at some point. Mm-hmm. There's also a David Yates drama called Pain Hustlers. It's going to be on Netflix. I haven't heard anything about this movie, so I really don't know anything about it.
Emily Blunt, Chris Evans, Catherine O'Hara, Andy Garcia. There's a bunch of people in it. It's from director David Yates. After losing her job, a single mom falls into a lucrative but ultimately dangerous scheme selling prescription drugs. I don't know if it's a drama. I don't know if it's comedy to it. I don't know, but Emily Blunt and Chris Evans are enough to make me watch.
Yes, and then of course we've got the movie that is one of Brian's most anticipated films of the year. I think this is getting probably the limited release because you didn't bring it up yet.
No, I didn't. I don't know what you're referring to. So no.
It is because now I'm seeing that it gets released on November 10th on Netflix. So this is the theatrical release of David Fincher. Is it David Fincher, right?
David Fincher,
The Killer. Gets released in theaters on October 27th. It will be released on Netflix on November 10th. I also watched the first teaser of this yesterday. Mm-hmm. Didn't really do much for me, but it was a teaser. Don't quite really know what to make of this film. It was very the teaser didn't really help.
It's very much just a teaser. You can't really get anything from it except maybe some atmosphere. And I mean, it's Michael Fassbender. It's David Fincher. He plays an assassin. That's enough to get me to watch. Beyond that, I have to wait for a trailer because I don't know much more about it. It is based on a graphic novel, but I've never read it, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Nothing. And that was the very next week. We got November 3rd. Obviously, that was supposed to be Dune. Not anymore. The only thing I'm really seeing is it's a movie called Rustin, which stars Coleman Domingo. It's
supposed to be a big Oscar contender. I have not watched the trailer though, but I saw it.
I watched it yesterday. It's about Bayard Rustin. He's a gay civil rights activist who organized the March on Washington with Martin Luther King, starring Coleman Domingo, who I love as an actor. Now, most people, in terms of movies, most people probably don't know him. He was in Candyman, but I know him from Fear the Walking Dead, who he is a fucking powerhouse on that show. So just to see him take the lead role in a film, like the trailer for me, I feel like we've seen this movie multiple times, like with Selma and all this shit. But you know what? With Coleman Domingo leading the way, I will watch this one again because I just love him as an actor. But I watched the trailer for it. Chris Rock's also in it, which his acting, I'll take or leave. You got CCH Pounder in it as well, who she's fantastic. Jeffrey Wright, also phenomenal. So a real solid cast through it. But yeah, I saw the trailer for it yesterday. It has like you said, awards. I definitely see this as potentially either going to get awards or it's going to be one of those movies at the end of the next year where they're like, Rustin didn't get anything. What the fuck? And then they'll attack the Oscars for everything. It's going to be one or the other. I feel like it's either going to be a movie that is praised for that, or it's going to be like it tried too much to be an award film and it falls short.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I also have Fingernails, which is a limited release, I assume, starring Jesse Buckley and Riz Ahmed. And I have a movie. I'm sorry, that's a Netflix movie. I'm sorry, that one's an Apple TV Plus movie. On Netflix, you have Sly, which is just a documentary about Sylvester Stallone, and that's all I have for the third.
You know, I don't know what Fingernails is, but I just looked at the cast, and that cast alone makes me want to watch this.
Yeah, that's the Apple TV Plus one.
Yeah, I cast for it. Jeremy Allen White, who I fucking love. Anna Murphy, who I love. Jesse Buckley, Luke Wilson, Riz Ahmed, who's fantastic. That cast alone, I'm gonna have to check this movie out. I know nothing.
Oh, Jeremy Allen White's the one from The Bear, right?
Yes.
Okay, the name didn't jump out at me, but when you said that, I looked him up. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and Shameless. I know nothing about this film. Looks like cast-wise, Anna, played by Annie Buckley, increasingly suspects that her relationship with her longtime partner may not actually be the real thing. In an attempt to improve things, she secretly embarks on a new assignment working at a mysterious institute designed to incite and test the presence of romantic love in increasingly desperate couples. So, I don't know what kind of film that's going to be.
And the poster's like this cybernetic arm, so I don't.
And even on IMDb, it doesn't even have like thriller or whatever to it, so we don't even know what this class is. Oh no, sorry, it's drama, romance, sci-fi.
There you go. So it seems to me like it might have a kind of an Ex Machina vibe to it.
Yeah, cast alone worth checking out. And then it looks like there's a Sylvester Stallone documentary.
That's on Sly. That's on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's just like they did for Arnold. They did one on Sly as well. So
yeah. November 10th, The Killer comes out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
The Holdovers that I just talked about, that gets expanded to wider release. And then the only big one is The Marvels, MCU's last film of the year. Brian and I both weren't big fans of Ms. Marvel. Granted, I think I liked it more than him to a point. But you know what? I actually kind of am holding out hope that this movie's actually going to be really good because we didn't like Captain Marvel, the movie, but I liked Captain Marvel, the character. And I also liked Rambo from WandaVision. So having these three together, I actually hope that all three of them actually mesh really, really well. I think it's taking some of the stuff that we did like from Captain Marvel and the stuff that did work with Miss Marvel. I feel like just with the trailer, I feel better about this than I probably would have, 6 months ago. Knowing you, I think you have zero excitement.
Well, you know what? I liked Captain Marvel. I didn't love it, but I liked it. I was not a fan of Ms. Marvel at all, as you know. I'm interested to see this one. I've only watched the teaser, the original trailer for it. A new one just came out like today or yesterday. I have not watched that trailer yet.
I haven't watched it either.
Which apparently tells a little bit more about the actual plot
story
we're dealing with. I mean, I'm going to see it obviously, but I'm going in expecting it'll be better than Eternals. I'll say that. Probably better than Quantumania. But I'm not expecting.
Probably better than Captain Marvel, hopefully.
Yeah. I have two others that day. One is called Journey to Bethlehem. Now, this is, I believe, put out by one of those like I don't know what to call them, the faith-based film companies.
Isn't it like Pure Flex or something?
Yeah, one of those. This is basically the story of obviously Journey to Bethlehem for Jesus' birth. Antonio Banderas, I think, has a small part in it. I think he might be Pontius Pilate or something. It's a musical though, and so I got to see it because I see all musicals. So there's that. And the other one is called Dream Scenario. This seems to me like something that's probably going straight to digital, maybe a small limited release. This is the latest film that Nicolas Cage is, churning out. It's a schlubby professor who never made it becomes an overnight celebrity after appearing in every person on Earth's dream. I don't know much about it, but the picture of him, he's got like this bald head, and it's Nicolas Cage doing something else. Nicolas Cage. So we'll see what that's like. Supporting cast good: Michael Cera, Dylan
Yeah.
Baker, Tim Meadows, Julia Nicholson. I'm not sure who that is.
It's labeled as a comedy horror.
Comedy horror. Okay then.
So intrigued.
Yeah, the female lead is Julia Nicholson, who I don't recognize her face, but she was apparently in Weird the Yankovic Story. She was in Blonde, I, Tanya, a whole bunch of stuff. Okay.
Going to November 17th.
There's one on the 16th. I'll just say this. Something on Netflix. It seems to be a family movie called Best Christmas Ever, starring Jennifer Garner. I believe it's like she goes to her home. She has always been like outshone by this other family who like always they live like this perfect life, and her life's falling apart. And she decides to try and show them up and have like the best Christmas ever, obviously being the title. I forget who plays the other mom. I'm looking it up right now. So of course we're gonna have dead air while I look this up. Here it is. It's directed by Mary Lambert, who also did the original Pet Sematary, among other things. Oh, and Halloween Town movies. Heather Graham, Jason Biggs. I'm sorry, did I say Jennifer Garner? I'm thinking something else. This is Heather Graham, Jason Biggs. I don't know. Anyway, it's Netflix.
Yeah, you definitely said Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, that's I realized I was thinking of something else. So that was the 16th. So the 17th, go ahead.
Okay. 17th, we're starting to get to our big holiday movies, or not necessarily holiday movies, but movies are coming out for the holiday season. We got Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I enjoy the Hunger Game books and the original franchise of it, so I wasn't necessarily thinking we needed this film, but this is a book. They did come out with this book, so I'm definitely with the cast. I'm intrigued. I thought the trailer was solid for what it was.
I'm not a huge fan of the Hunger Games movies, but actually, if I'm going to see this, it's probably because I like Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, you got Rachel Zegler, and you also got who is playing? Who's
it's
playing?
Nobody I recognized offhand.
Huh? Jason Schwartzman. He's playing Stanley Tucci's role from the Hunger Games.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy who plays young.
No, I'm not talking about that. I was talking about who's playing Flickerman. Also, Peter Dinklage is in this as well. So once again, Peter Dinklage. I'm going to see Peter Dinklage in almost anything.
Which I'll get to him later in our undated movies. I'm talking about one more time.
Yes, I know. You're going to talk about that. You've been talking about it for like 4 years now. Also, Viola Davis is also in this, and Viola Davis doesn't really get put in shitty films. So just movies that we don't necessarily enjoy. But yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. One of these this movie was in my most anticipated of the year. It's finally going to be coming out, and that's Next Goal Wins. It's the latest Taika Waititi film, also with Michael Fassbender. This just looks like a feel-good soccer film, which, I mean, I loved Ted Lasso, so I'm totally open to another feel-good soccer film. And Taika Waititi, this is kind of his bread and butter in a way.
This is more where his kind of comedy works better than, say, in a Thor movie. So.
Exactly. I mean, like, while I love Jojo Rabbit, I mean, that was not necessarily there for the what we were supposed to love it for, but I Jojo Rabbit was fantastic. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for that. The third Trolls movie, Trolls Band Together. You've seen a Trolls movie, You've seen it all. That you're not getting anything really new with that. Rustin gets released on Netflix on this day, whereas before that was just its release. There is a movie, I don't know anything about it, but just by the lead, I'm going to mention it. It's called May December. Natalie Portman is in this with Julianne Moore. That alone deserves recognition.
This is basically, she plays a reporter who goes to do a story on, do you remember the old Mary Kay Letourneau story with like the woman who got pregnant from her student, and there was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is like years later, like just a reporter played by Natalie Portman goes to do a story on them. And that's all I really know about it. That one comes out then in theaters, and it comes on Netflix December 1st, I believe.
Gotcha. Anything else for you that day? I see there's a couple that are highlighted, but I don't know what these movies are.
I have Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Eli Roth horror film, kind of basically decided to make the film that he made the short trailer for, from Back in the Grindhouse. You said Trolls. And Please Don't Destroy, The Treasure of Foggy Mountain. Please Don't Destroy is kind of the new Lonely Island. They do the all digital shorts on Saturday Night Live. I enjoy them. I don't know if they'll carry a movie, but I'll check it out. So it'll be fun. That's a Peacock movie.
Is this actually Lonely Island, or is this the people who took over after Lonely
No,
Island?
this is Please Don't Destroy. That's the name of the group. Please Don't Destroy. They're the ones that took over after Lonely Island moved on.
If it's who I think is, and then I will refuse to watch it on principle. Because
I don't know. I don't know their name.
The cast real quick.
But yeah, this is one that's going direct to Peacock.
I don't see him. There's this one SNL actor. He kind of started doing digital shorts after they left, and I can't stand him. But I don't see him on the cast list, so I'm open to it.
Are you thinking of Kyle Mooney?
What's that?
Are you thinking of Kyle Mooney?
Yes, I fucking can't stand Kyle Mooney.
There's a movie on this list, or maybe it's next year's list. He directed a movie, but it's like based on everybody else except for him in it. I actually want to see it.
I think he is horrible. I think he's an awful fucking actor.
I
can't. Every time he gets on screen on SNL, I immediately just tune out. On November 21st, we're heading Thanksgiving, Netflix is releasing the animated film Leo. Basically, Adam Sandler is a pet lizard that lives in a school classroom. I watched the trailer for it yesterday. It is what it is. Maybe they'll release a different trailer with more story. This is one of those that it could be charming and funny for what it is, or it could just be, oh, it's Adam Sandler just being Adam Sandler as an animated lizard. That's all I really got for that. November 22nd on Thanksgiving, we've got at least 2 movies.
Well, that's Wednesday.
Or no, 3 movies. We got 3. Oh, wait, hold on.
I have 3.
Yeah, is it okay? Yeah, we got 3 movies. You got Napoleon, which is going to be a huge awards contender. I already heard that there's already a 4.5-hour cut of this movie. Yikes. Obviously, I'll check this out because I like Joaquin Phoenix. Brian will not check this out because he does not like Joaquin Phoenix.
I'll check it out because, I mean, I like the big war effects, and it's a Ridley Scott movie. I'll check it out.
Ridley Scott hasn't won me over lately.
I know. He hasn't had a good movie in quite a while, but it's at least worth checking out.
Yeah. Disney's Wish, which, you know what? It had promise in the trailer that I saw. I didn't love it, but I also was like, you know what? If they come out with another trailer by the time this comes out, it could hook me to want to check it out. But you know what? It's Disney making an actual unique, story on its own. They're not doing a sequel or something. And last time we got something like that, it was like Frozen, and look what happened there. So I'm open to Disney winning me over again on a movie. So
and I'm mostly sold because it's Ariana DeBose and Chris Pine.
Yes, and oh god, who plays the goat or whatever?
Alan Tudyk.
Is that? I was like, that had to be Alan Tudyk because it sounds like Clayface from Harley Quinn. It's what my voice sounds like. But so yeah, I'm definitely worth checking that one out. And then there's Maestro. I saw the trailer for this yesterday. I love Bradley Cooper and Carey Mulligan, but oh my god, this looks dull as shit.
It looks boring as shit.
It looks dull as shit, and people are already hating on it because Bradley Cooper's nose in the movie.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's racist for him to put on a nose. It's like, well, if he didn't put on it, people would be like, oh, he looks nothing like him.
It's not racist, you jackass.
But I mean, again, this is one where I think it was really just very much kind of a teaser trailer because it didn't really tell much about the story. But I mean, I'm interested in the person, and I like obviously A Star Is Born, which Bradley Cooper directed.
Yeah,
I
love that.
But based on this, if I went by the trailer, I'm like, ugh. But whatever.
It just looks so fucking boring. This to me is like the way I felt about this is the way you felt about watching the trailer for The Fabelmans. I'm just watching and just going, really? Am I gonna have to watch this?
Right. That is how I felt about Fabelmans.
On the 24th, we've got Saltburn, which I think every fiber of Brian and I's being does not want to watch this because of Barry. Is it Barry Cognan?
Barry Kogan, I believe it was
Kogan, because we don't like Barry Kogan. Granted, he was good in.
The trailer looked intriguing, and the cinematography looked good. Have you watched the trailer for it yet?
I watched it yesterday.
I'll probably check it out, but
we actually liked him in Banshees of Inisherin, so maybe he'll start. Maybe he'll start winning us over, but like before that, God, I could not stand him. And he still is the best thing to ever get cut out of the Batman because that Joker performance was atrocious. But yeah, I saw the trailer for it. It was one of those where it's like I went into it not knowing what it was, and I saw him, and I really tuned out of the trailer for like the next 2 minutes. So I don't remember a single thing about it, other than it's weird. It looks like almost like they go into like a mansion or some shit. It's like a party mansion or something. I don't know. Going into December now.
Hang on,
December 1st.
I have one more for
Oh, you do?
November.
Okay.
November 30th on Netflix. This is the movie I confused with Best Christmas Ever. It's called Family Switch. It is a Jennifer Garner, Ed Helms, Rita Moreno, a bunch of other people. It's a body switching film. It's like the four members of the family, the mother, father, daughter, son, and they all switch bodies on the most important day of their lives. One of them has a job interview, one has a soccer tryout, one of them has a promotion. Anyway, it's just a family comedy on Netflix.
Never even remotely heard of this.
It's
film,
directed by McG. There
you know what? People like to shit on McG, but I like McG. I do. I enjoy what he does.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like Charlie's Angels, but I like Terminator Salvation. I like This Means War. I like the Babysitter movies.
Yeah, the Babysitter movies and Supernatural, the TV series, is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. So
and Fastlane.
And Fastlane, absolutely. So I always have to respect McG for what he gives us. December 1st, Godzilla -1. I mean, it's not the Godzilla that we're watching now in the MonsterVerse thing. It's like an old school Japan Godzilla movie, and whether that's going to get released in the US, I have no fucking idea. But it's a Godzilla movie, so I'm definitely going to check it out. It's highlighted like it's going to be released wide in the US, which if it is, I will definitely be checking that out. Also, December gets released on Netflix on the 1st. Do you have anything else for that?
I have one called The Bike Riders. This is one. It's a Jeff Nichols movie. Hang on, bring up the cast. What intrigued me on this one? The Bike Riders. Jeff Nichols. Over the course of the 60s, a Midwestern motorcycle club evolves from a gathering place for local outsiders into a more sinister gang, threatening the original group's unique way of life. But it has Jodie Comer, Austin Butler, Tom Hardy, Michael Shannon, Mike Feist, who is he was Riff in West Side Story, and he's in The Challengers coming up. Boyd Holbrook, Norman Reedus. It's just got this great cast. It keeps going and going and going. Jeff Nichols is the guy who directed stuff like Take Shelter, Mud, Midnight Special. So cast alone, I want to see this movie.
Yeah, that I didn't know anything about this, and you started reading the cast, and I'm
Neither did I until I found it.
Okay then. Okay, that cast. Yeah, hell yeah. All right, good. Something to actually see besides Godzilla if I actually get Godzilla in theaters near me. Going to December 8th, the only thing I see that that leaves any impression to me is Poor Things, which could be one of those movies that is an award contender, or just, oh my god, they tried to make this an award movie and it bombs profusely just based off the trailer alone. This is a movie that people I think are going to love or hate.
Well, it's Yorgos Lanthimos, who is the guy who did Killing of Sacred Deer and The Lobster.
He didn't do The Favorite, did he?
The Favorite was his, yes.
Yeah.
Which The Favorite actually was okay. But he's one of those guys who it seems like he's trying to be weird just for the sake of being weird. And this trailer just made me look like more of the same. And I'm like,
is this like a female Frankenstein film, basically?
I don't know exactly what it is, but they managed to make Emma Stone look unattractive.
It looks like a female Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But it's got Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo. I'm blanking on the rest of the cast. Emma Stone is basically the Frankenstein's monster of this. And she's playing this very unique, and that is, I think, where the movie's either going to succeed or fail poorly, because I think people are going to be on board with her performance, or they're not going to be on board, and I think that movie is literally going to live or die off of her performance, which could be award contention or Razzie contention based off of what I saw in the trailer. We'll see what happens. Anything else of these releases that sticks out to you?
Nothing. I do have a few more for that same date. There's one called Eileen, which has been a big festival movie lately. It stars Thomasin McKenzie, Anne Hathaway, and Shea Wiggum. There's Magazine Dreams, which might come out. It's a bodybuilding film starring Jonathan Majors. So, don't know if that'll
actually. I've heard, but this is obviously before the whole Jonathan Majors things happened. But I had heard amazing feedback from this film, that this was supposed to be like Jonathan Majors is going to be nominated, if not maybe win the Oscar for this movie. I've heard, and all I've seen is a picture of it, but I have heard amazing things about this, and I know nothing really about it except that Jonathan Majors is in it. He looks fucking shredded, but he looked shredded in Creed 3.
Yeah.
Whether or not
the last one for this day is Leave the World Behind, which is a Netflix movie starring Ethan Hawke, Julia Roberts, Kevin Bacon, Mahershala Ali. it seems like some kind of drama. I don't know. It's a ways off. Netflix doesn't tell it to do trailers. There's like a month
Yeah,
before
we won't see trailers for that probably until right before Thanksgiving. Going to December 15th, we've got Anyone But You, which you and I are going to be really keeping an eye on this because of you got Sydney Sweeney, who I don't know who the fuck that is, but she's become this like huge name in the last like few months.
Most known for Euphoria, which I don't watch, but
which I don't watch Euphoria either. But I'm here for Glenn Powell, who we love, and Alexandra Shipp, who we also love. All I know,
which we don't get enough of, honestly.
And is this? Are they doing this thing where it's a publicity stunt where Glenn Powell and Sweeney are basically like a couple now in real life because of the shooting of this, or are they just?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
All I know is that all I keep hearing about these two are taking pictures together and all this, like they're a couple, but it might just be publicity for the movie, kind of like what they did with Zendaya and Tom Holland, but then they actually are still dating now, kind of thing. All I know about this is two college arch nemesis reunite years after graduation for a destination wedding and pretend to be lovers for their own personal reasons. That sounds perfect for Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell's like
spoiler alert, I bet they really fall in love.
Yes, that's the end of the movie, obviously. We love Glenn Powell. He's so fucking good. I hope this is great. He still has probably one of my favorite rom-coms in the last decade in Set It Up with Zoe Deutsch. Of course, he was great in Top Gun Maverick. He wasn't in it nearly as much as he should have been. But he's fantastic, and we love him on this channel. So we're definitely.
He has another movie coming out, hitting festivals like currently in the next month or two, called Hitman. But I don't think that will hit like theaters like a release till next year sometime.
Yeah, I think that's a 2024 movie. Yeah. The other big movie is Wonka with Timothée Chalamet, Hugh Grant, Keegan-Michael Key is in it as well. I only saw the first trailer. Brian, you were not excited for this, but you know what? I am intrigued by this.
I mean, I'm not a big Willy Wonka fan. I'm not a big Timothée Chalamet fan. I'm not a big Paddington fan, who the director did this one as well. But it's a musical, so let's get that for it. And maybe it's one I'll check out.
See, I'm also not a big Wonka fan.
I'm not anti any of these things. I'm just not a huge fan of them. So
yeah, I'm also not a big Chalamet fan, but I love Paddington, and I actually was really intrigued by Chalamet's performance in the trailer. That alone was enough to sell me on wanting to see this movie. I think this might be the big movie of the holiday season. I feel like this is going to be the big blow up box office film of the holiday season. I'm actually intrigued and excited to actually see this movie. I actually liked the trailer. I thought it looked good. And Hugh Grant as the Oompa Loompas is either going to work or not work. I'm hoping it works. I like I know you had an issue with the CGI. I know you did.
I also feel like maybe they're trying too hard with him, but we'll see. Maybe they just because the one clip they chose to use. I don't know.
It's one clip, and it was also like 2 months ago. Like they can touch it up before then. Going to December 20th.
I have on the 15th on Netflix has the Chicken Run sequel. Chicken Run.
I just chose to ignore that because
Dawn of the Nugget. I know. We're just listing it. I'm not going into details.
Chicken Run. I mean, I never even saw the first one. December 20th, Maestro comes out on Netflix. And then there's Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Is this movie even fucking coming out? Because I have not seen a trailer, a teaser, anything from this fucking movie. At this point,
I would have assumed they would have put a trailer on Blue Beetle, but they didn't. But then Warner Brothers just did their big round of delays with Dune and all those other ones. They pushed back, but Aquaman supposedly they say Aquaman is still coming out. So
I don't see this movie. I feel like how you felt about Ghostbusters. It's just like, I don't see this coming out. I haven't heard jack shit about this movie since the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. I haven't heard anything about this fucking film. And at this point with the DC, who cares?
I feel like it's coming out. But you're right. The marketing has not been like they usually market DC movies. I think it's just because they're like, we're not dumping a whole lot of money into marketing. We already know it's going to flop because DC movies are all flopping. So it's like, we'll just get it out there. So I think we'll probably see a trailer in the next week or two, but I think it's going to not make it anywhere near as much.
At this point, cut your losses, just dump it on Max.
Well, that's not cutting their losses because at least they can make some money by putting it in the theater.
But I'm talking about, once again, Blue Beetle, which is supposed to be the new DC potentially.
Oh, it's not now.
Which wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Blue Beetle was fine. Aquaman isn't. It's. Let's just leave Aquaman how we last saw him, drunk in a puddle of water in Flash. But it's just, and I this is nothing. I like Jason Momoa, but it's just like at this point, it's like watching a movie for a show that got canceled. It's like, cool. I don't have why should I care? We're not going to continue with this. You know, it's just there's no point, and not seeing anything for it just makes it even more just lackluster because you're not doing anything to even make me remotely want to see the movie. I mean, I will, but I don't care about this movie at all. Like the last Aquaman, I thought was good, but not enough for me to like wait this long to be anticipating for this. Going to December 22nd now we're getting into the Christmas of it all. We've got 2 big movies. Brian probably only thinks, oh no, I'm sorry, no, scratch that. I've got 3 big movies coming out this day. 3. I almost forgot about one. I was about to get really mad at myself. We've got Migration, which on paper shouldn't be good. But you know what? I feel like the trailer is going to be one of those surprise Christmas hits that kids are going to love to go see when they're not watching Wonka. I didn't hate the trailer. I thought it was like...
Was there a trailer for this? I haven't seen it.
Migration, yeah, they came out with a trailer with it about last month.
Okay.
It's fine. I think it looks cute for what it is. It feels very much, and I'll say this to you, because you'll get this, maybe not everyone else, very much like Over the Hedge meets Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Okay.
Esque kind of thing. It's Illumination, which I can't stand Illumination, but I didn't hate the trailer for what I saw.
You liked Mario. Wasn't that Illumination?
I loved, like I said, I hate Illumination, but Mario, and I didn't hate this. So maybe Illumination might finally be starting to win me over. Then there is, and once again, much like Cassandro, Iron Claw. I want a fucking trailer today. I want a trailer now. Give me a goddamn trailer for this movie. Iron Claw is a wrestling film that's about the story of the Von Erich family, the Von Erich brothers. For anyone who does not know the story, this is a heartbreaking as shit story. There's a show. It's on Vice. It's also on Hulu. It's called Dark Side of the Ring. It's about the dark stories of professional wrestling. They did an episode on the Von Erichs. It is a rough watch.
They're just a cursed family, yeah.
It is a cursed family. It's one of those that, like, it's a car wreck. I'm not saying it's an actual car wreck. I'm saying it's a car wreck. You know you don't want to see what happens, but you just cannot look away. I hope to God this movie is as good as I think it's going to be. Cast-wise, once again, Jeremy Allen White. This dude is an amazing actor. He's going to play Kerry Von Erich, which is probably the most well-known Von Erich. He was the Texas Tornado in WWF in the early 90s. But the big one, and Brian and I have been saying this for over a year now, Zac Efron, who plays Kevin Von Erich. Dude has he's always been in super good shape. Zac Efron has completely transformed himself to the point where he doesn't even look like Efron anymore. He looks like Kevin Von Erich. Just the look of Efron in this movie. Also, Mira Tierney is in this, and I love her. Also, Holt I always say his name. Holt McClaney. I love Lily James. I love.
Lily James. I didn't realize
Lily James is in it as well. Also, there's an actor. What's it? He plays Ric Flair. I gotta see how this guy does as Ric Flair. I don't know the actor well enough, but just to see that there's someone in this movie playing Ric Flair, I gotta see how this guy does it. But yeah, also one of my favorite wrestlers in the world today, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. He plays Lance Von Erich. This cast has got me so excited. I don't know who Lily James plays. She doesn't have a cast name under her yet.
But this is Pam on Letterboxd.
Yeah. I can't wait to watch this movie. I'm so excited for this. I know I'm gonna probably bawl my fucking eyes out watching this movie because Brian, who was an old school wrestler fan, even he knows the Von Erich story. It is a rough story, and this cast, I'm so ungodly excited to see this movie. I need a trailer today for this right now. And then of course the other big film, Brian, take it away. You're more excited about this than I am.
Am I?
I thought you were.
Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon.
Yes, part 1, A Child of Fire. We got to put the part 1 in there.
Oh yeah, this is just part 1. Part 2 coming out next year.
Yes.
This one I was intrigued. I was like a big budget sci-fi. Zack Snyder, who I generally like his movies. I don't like his fans as much because they're annoying. The problem is I saw the trailer, and the trailer looks like he's trying to make a Star Wars movie and a Dune movie and just mash them up together.
It feels like Zack Snyder went back and looked at every film he's ever made and took a piece out of each one and made a Frankenstein's monster, because it feels like Star Wars meets Sucker Punch meets John Carter meets
with some 300 look to it, yeah,
and shook it in a big fucking jar and then just threw it at you. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
And from what I heard, he originally wanted to try. He was trying to convince them to let him make a Star Wars movie, and they wouldn't. So he decided to just turn it into this. And it's like you can tell, because I mean, there's people with lightsabers. The ships look kind of the same. It's just, you can very much tell it's his take on essentially Star Wars. But like I said, it has more of a Dune feel to it as well.
Yeah.
Which it could be good, could be bad. I'm gonna watch it. I'm just not excited for it.
We're definitely gonna watch it. We're definitely gonna watch it. We're definitely gonna talk about this. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the cast, I mean, I'm intrigued with it. I mean, you got Jaimin Hansu, Ed Skrein. Is it Skrein?
Ed Skrein.
Skrein. Charlie Hunnam, who I love. Anthony Hopkins in it. Who's the lead?
Sofia Boutella.
I was like, isn't Sofia Boutella?
Yeah.
We wanted her. She's another one out there where it's like, I really want her to just do something big and this is it. Here you go. You're gonna do this.
Oh, I like her. I liked her in Atomic Blonde. I liked her in The Mummy. I liked her in everything.
Kingsman, Golden Circle. She was a highlight in that movie. So yeah, this movie can either be awesome, or we got another oh my god, not Land of the Dead, Army of the Dead situation where it looked cool, but ultimately wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Of a movie that was supposed to become a franchise and stuff, but it kind of fiddled out. So yeah, December 22nd, besides it being my mom's birthday, there's some definite movies coming out, and I'm going to be so fucking pissed if Iron Claw is not released in theaters in my area. Oh, there'll be hell to pay if Iron Claw is not.
You should prepare yourself, because this feels like a small release.
Oh, I fucking know it is. I'm already pissed. I feel like this is going to be a movie that gets released on December 22nd, but I won't get to see it until like mid-January, like One Night in Miami was a couple years back.
Oh, it's at least part distributed by A24. So, do you usually get A24 films in your area?
I mean, I got Talk to Me and stuff like that. So
maybe
it kind of depends on the movie, really.
Yeah.
And of course, on Christmas Day, which is just weird that I know Christmas is on a Monday. It's just weird to have movies released on a Monday, even though it's Christmas. You got The Color Purple, which I never saw the original Color Purple. So
I have seen it. It's one of my least favorite Steven Spielberg movies, just because I'm not into like the straight dramas as much. It's fine. The acting in it is all good. This one is basically, they took The Color Purple, they made a Broadway or at least a stage musical of it. This is the movie of the musical, so now it's a musical again, which normally would intrigue me, but really I watched the trailers for it. And it stars Fantasia Barrino, who is a former American Idol winner, and
I can't stand her on American Idol.
Yeah, so and Halle Bailey from Little Mermaid, who I don't care about her. So I watched the trailer. I don't care at all about this movie. Sorry, I just don't. The other one, of course, being Ferrari. Did you have anything else that day besides Ferrari?
There's something called The Boys in the Boat with Joel Edgerton.
I saw that one. It looked like something that didn't even interest me.
This is the weakest ass Christmas Day movie.
This is the worst Christmas.
Clearly, it's December 22nd. December 22nd is the Christmas release. Because the actual movie's being released on Christmas. No.
And even December 22nd, they're weak movies as far as like what you expect, like the big Christmas releases.
Yes.
I mean, you have before that, you have Aquaman 2 and Wonka, a week or so before that. But it's like Christmas Day is so weak this year, because Ferrari, We just watched the trailer today. Was it? What's the trailer?
I watched it yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah. And both of us, and it's just a teaser. There's literally one line of dialogue at the very end of it, but it's just like, I don't care at all about this. I think Adam Driver looked goofy. I'm just, but we both said the same thing, which is at the end it says directed by Michael Mann. I'm like, okay, I'll at least watch it.
Yeah, it's not something that I'm gonna go out of my way to see on Christmas Day, not by any means, but it'll probably be, once again, something that gets released on digital or during award season. It'll pop up everywhere, and then maybe I'll check it out. Or it might not be an award film, but because it is on Christmas Day and it's got Adam Driver and Michael Mann, those are usually a good indicator of award season. And that's it. That's it for the year. Like I said, because of the strike, there's a lot of movies like Dune and Ghostbusters and what?
Go ahead. I have a few undated ones that are supposed to come out.
Okay. Oh yeah. Let's. Yeah. Go ahead. Yes, I know you want to get that one movie talked about.
Well, the one I will mention, Toxic Avenger, which is real. It's playing at a film festival.
Yes, it is finally real. The movie that Brian has wished into fruition is an actual fucking film.
Peter Dinklage,
talked about for 2 years now.
Peter Dinklage starring as Toxie in the Toxic Avenger remake. This is, like I said, it's playing at some film festivals. I don't know if it's going to make it out this year, because it's not the kind of movie that's going to get a wide release anyway. So I don't know what's going on with this one. It seems like the kind of thing that'll end up on Shudder or something. Who knows? Netflix does not have dates yet for Beverly Hills Cop: Axel Foley, which is supposed to come out by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And also there's some reports that Old Guard 2 was going to hit at the very end of this year. I kind of feel like it's going to get pushed to next year, but I don't know.
I don't think I've even heard anything about them shooting that yet.
It completed shooting earlier this year.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Amazon Undated has Red One, which is the Dwayne Johnson, J.K. Simmons Christmas movie.
And here's the thing about that. If that didn't get finished, and because of the strike, they're not going to release that until Christmas next year either. So it's
I guarantee you these are finished being filmed. But the problem is promotion. That's the reason these things getting, most of these stuff you're getting seen delayed from this year were finished films. But they figure they can't market it the way they want because they can't get their cast out there to talk about it on talk shows and things, and so that's why they get delayed. But this one's been done. The other one,
if you don't drop it at the end of the year, they're going to wait a whole another year. They're not going to drop this in February for Christmas.
I think it'll still come out because it's a streaming movie. So
if they do, I'm excited for it because we talked about that at the beginning of the year for Anticipated with The Rock and J.K. Simmons as like a buff fucking Santa. I mean, hell yeah.
Amazon also has Candy Cane Lane, which is another Christmas movie starring Eddie Murphy. And there's on Disney Plus, undated, there's one called Dashing Through the Snow, which is Kevin Hart, Lil Rel Howery, Tiana Paris, Ludacris, Oscar Nunez. He must help Santa Claus from thugs out to harm him. I don't know. It's directed by Tim Story. Nick is a real Scrooge who discovers the meaning of Christmas when he must help save Santa Claus from thugs out to harm him. It's a Kevin Hart Christmas movie.
Okay. And this is on Disney Plus?
That is a Disney Plus one. Also, maybe out this year, maybe not till next year, Aladdin, the musical. It's a filmed stage performance of the Aladdin musical they made. They filmed it at some point. I don't know when it's coming out. They said it might come out Christmas, but who knows? And the last one I have is a Paramount Plus undated movie. I've never seen the first one, Good Burger 2.
They dropped the trailer for it
did they?
Past week. Yeah, they did. It sounded more like it was a series than a movie. The way they did the trailer, they made it seem like it was a series.
Couldn't tell you.
But you wouldn't call it Good Burger 2 though. So yeah, I did. They did have a trailer or a teaser for it. So that is definitely coming out this year.
But sorry, that's all I have. Yeah.
Yeah. Which as a kid, I thought Good Burger was funny, but I mean, the adult me is probably not going to think it's good. So what would you say? I mean, we went through most everything that we could go through. Like I said, there's a lot right there in terms of not released, like Red One and Axel Foley and stuff like that we would be excited for, but stuff that we actually have hard dates on.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling about this year, the rest of the year? Are there movies that are standing out to you that you're actually genuinely excited for, or are there movies where you're just like, I want to check them out, but
I think there's not very many that I'm really excited about. I mean, the one I probably most anticipated would be The Killer, just because it is David Fincher, it is Michael Fassbender, and being based in a graphic novel, I think it'll probably have the kind of tone that I like in movies. there are plenty of other ones that I'm interested in. There's The Creator, there's Anyone But You. Things like Aquaman, that I'm sure I'll see, but I couldn't say excited about them. But what really is me intrigued is the ones I don't know much about. The Caitlin Dever sci-fi movie, that Totally Killer with the time travel back to 1987 that you said feels like a Christopher Landon movie. She Came to Me. It's these movies that I don't know a whole lot about, or have kind of come out of nowhere. Those are the ones I'm kind of most anticipating. It's because I don't know them as well as some of this other stuff.
Yeah, like for me, obviously Cassandra and Iron Claw.
Yeah.
Those are probably my two top that I'm most excited for. She Came to Me. I said watched that trailer yesterday. I immediately got excited for it. I was excited for Next Goal Wins earlier this year. The trailer didn't really win me over, but Taika Waititi's movies aren't the best trailer movies. So you just have to kind of go into them and then you just fall in love with them as they happen, kind of thing. So I'm not like worried about that. But yeah, I mean, in terms of, and then of course Rebel Moon's intriguing just because of the scale of what we're gonna get for it. It's honestly, and I'm not saying I don't want to say this in a way that makes it seem like I'm in for this. The best thing to happen for Rebel Moon is that Dune got pushed back to next year.
Because the comparisons would have been, I mean, they'll still be there, but yeah.
Because Dune and Rebel Moon coming out within a month of each other. I mean, because everyone would see Dune. Now Rebel Moon's on Netflix, but it would just feel too. Yeah. So I mean, there are like you said, there are movies that intrigue me. Obviously, like I said, the Marvels. I'm intrigued. Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm intrigued by. What happens later in Fair Play because of word of mouth, and the Marsh King's Daughter. There's stuff like that. But nothing outside of probably Cassandra and Iron Claw am I like, I can't wait for this to come out kind of thing, which is kind of a bummer. But you know what? What we've seen every year, mainly me more than you, is that at the end of every year, there's a lot of movies that we just have never really heard about or seen, and they end up being the surprise hits of the year. The Harder They Fall. That was a movie that we didn't know jack shit about. It blew us away. Coda 2 years ago. I had no interest in seeing Coda. I watched it for Oscar season and I was blown away by it. Hell, even though it wasn't the holiday season, RRR. That was not a movie that we were prepared for and it blew us away. Sometimes the not knowing about a movie tends to work in our favor because it's the ones that comes out of nowhere that actually excites us and just makes us want to talk about the movie so much. That makes us like it more than like something like Guardians or Indiana Jones or even Across the Spider-Verse where we were prepared to love it. It's sometimes those little gems we don't know anything about that really shocks us at year's end. Do you see any of this on this list that you think might crack your top 10 at the end of the year based off of where we left off at the half year mark?
As far as upcoming, I think The Killer has a chance just because it's David Fincher. Totally Killer, if it finds that right tone, could crack it. Nothing else I think can crack the top 10.
Yeah, I think for me, if they're done correctly, Cassandra and Iron Claw could. The others, they'll be shockers. Mainly, a lot of it's going to depend on the story and the performances. But looking at the movies, maybe same thing comes for like the excitement level of it too. Is just like, am I seeing anything that I think could break my top 10 right now? And the answer is sadly no. But it's going to be one of those weird movies. Like, did I think at the beginning of the year that God, what's his name? Or Guy Ritchie's The Covenant would have been in my top 5?
You do love Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I would never have guessed the Guy Ritchie's The Covenant would have been in my top 5 at the half year mark. So it's one of those things where it's like based off of where we're at. I mean, honestly, I'm sure Napoleon acting wise will be great, but the longevity of it will probably not make me care enough to put it in the top 10. I would say the same thing about Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm sure the performances are going to be great, but it's probably going to be dry as hell to the point where I'm not going to love it, where I'll appreciate what it is, but it's not going to crack my top 10 kind of thing. And then there's those movies that are just hopefully the one you talked about with the one that felt like a Christopher Landon movie, where it's like it's just so damn fun that we enjoyed it so much that it cracks our top 10 at the end of the year. We don't know. I will say Iron Claw, if it does exactly what I'm hoping it will do, and Cassandra, they could easily crack my top 10 because of my wrestling background. I tend to give those, if they do it right, much like The Wrestler, I will show more praise to it than probably you would. But we'll see what happens. Either way, the rest of the year, there are little nuggets of excitement, but a lot of it is just, yeah, we'll check it out if it's, if we got nothing else better to do.
And
Which
I
is the
will
real,
say that this fall's loss is next year's gain because next year is packed.
yeah. If anything, we're just kind of hoping to we're rushing to get through the year so we can get to 2024, because 2024 is, what I'm worried about. What I'm legitimately worried about going into 2024 is that we're going to be so packed that studios are going to go, we can't release these all so close together. We're not going to make our money back. We need to push these movies back, or we need to spread them out more. And then all these movies that we're going to be talking about in January for most anticipated are not going to come out.
It's also possible, you see, the 2024 movies, those are the ones that are going to be impacted as far as production by some of these strikes. And so those could get pushed back because depending on how much longer this lasts.
So we could be in another situation like in 2021 where our most anticipated list had all these movies and like only half of them only came out. We'll see what happens with that. But nonetheless, we'll see exactly how the rest of this plays out. We'll be back for this kind of episode at the end of the year when we talk about, our year-end review. We'll go over our best, worst films, most surprising, most disappointing. We'll see what play out. And then, of course, in probably around March or February, we'll come out with our third annual The Weekly Crusaders, movie awards, or not The Weekly Crusaders, just the Movie Crusaders awards. Who's going to take the title from RRR? I don't know yet. We have a sure favorite right now, but is that favorite going to stay the favorite, next year? We don't know yet. Here's one thing is, I wouldn't be mad if our favorite, which is Across the Spider-Verse, is the number one, but I would also be really disappointed because that means nothing came close to topping that here in the next 5 months.
I'm not seeing it, honestly, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be surprised. I'm hoping to be surprised by something. But we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Fall Movie Preview. If you guys did, go and hit that like, share, and subscribe button to the channel so you guys stay up to date with all the latest videos pop up on the Movie Crusaders. And of course, with the follow us on all the social media outlets you see below. Coming up next, we have this week's episode of the Weekly Crusaders, where we talk about 2 movies that came out during this week in movie history. We'll obviously be back next week for another episode of the Weekly Crusaders. Like we said, The Equalizer 3 is out right now. Brian will probably see it before I do. So he'll let us know on next week's episode of the Weekly Crusaders on what he thought of it. I definitely will not get to see it this weekend. I have too much stuff to do and planned to go to the movie theaters. But if I do get to check out any of the digital films that are out now, I will probably do another mass review like I did last week with the 5 movies that I talked about on there, which was Blue Beetle, The Last Voyage of the Meter, Talk to Me, The Meg 2 Trench, and wow, I'm blanking on the 5th film. The picture's up, so you guys are going to know what it is. I'm blanking on what the 5th movie was. It's been a long week. But anyway, we will be here again very shortly for the Week Crusaders. We are the Movie Crusaders. And until next time, in case we don't see you, go watch the movies and go have some fun.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.